my channel. I'm glad to see I have one comment, but it doesn't seem to be a suggestion. So to that person, I thank you. I thank you for giving me a comment. And I'm sorry I didn't make my first ever video longer. I tried, but when you're on a time limit, you have to limit things. But I'm going to cover a very specific topic today. A topic that has been thrown around all over the internet about the Goon. If you know Slugterra, then you'll know who I'm talking about. If you haven't seen Slugterra, a ghoul from beyond, then I will explain it. Explain the Goon. The Goon is a ghouled version of Doc. Except the only difference is with the Goon, he can mind control the slinger and bend that specific slinger to his will. So the slinger will have no memory, no control over this Goon. But it also depends on how strong the spirit of that person. But the Goon can too be also strong. Because if you remember correctly, he specifically said to Eli, when Eli tried to take control back of his mind, he said, "I am the master here." So which proves that he is the master of the mind. But now people are going to ask people have also been asking, how is the Goon and the Doc so similar and yet so different? I'm happy to answer that. The reason how the Doc and the Goon are so similar but yet different, they were both. Doc is still a healer. I have a feeling the Goon was once a healer in the Eastern Caverns. But the Emperor found him and twisted this Goon to his will. Because if you have seen Return of the Elementals, you saw when the Goon was shot with Doc, he didn't turn back into a normal slug like the fire and the earth elemental did. It's almost like he was beginning to die because he was not magically designed to heal. He was magically designed to take control. And there are similarities between them. One eye, antennas, well, the antennas are obvious, but the one eye, the way their power affects whoever they are in front of personally, but there yet differences. There are very differences. The obvious difference is one's a ghoul and one's a normal slug. So, the differences between the Goon and the differences there are visible differences with Doc and the Goon, but there may be differences under its skin that you may never know or may never see. Mind control powers. As I said before, he can manipulate a slinger to his will. That means the slinger will have no reconciliation, nothing. It won't even remember its own name if the slinger is unlucky enough. But that's what the Goon does. Takes control of your mind and manipulates you to his will, which means it's like the Goon is controlling your body and you are just like, take this as an example. The Goon is on your shoulder, takes control of your mind. He will take the driver's seat in your brain, and then you, as in yourself, you will be locked in the trunk, having no control over what the Goon does with your body. But there are some sides that are being controlled by the Goon. It means you are more invulnerable to damage, but you're not invulnerable to being healed. That's why I recommend, if I ever get attacked by the Goon, I would have Doc by my side, always. So if the Goon does try to take control, Doc can help me. But you're probably wondering how Eli, when the Goon was pushed, if you have seen a ghoul from beyond, some of you are probably wondering why. When Doc pushed the Goon off Eli's shoulder, and Eli fainted, but his skin didn't turn back to normal. Well, that is actually a simple question, and you saw this different thing happen to Junjay. When the Goon officially left him, he fainted and he turned back to his normal self. Because the Goon did not unbind itself from Eli. And it may seem obvious, and that's how Dark was able to cure that connection. But he didn't cure the entire connection because it was the Goon and Eli and Junjay that still had that connection. They still had it somehow, even though they were broken free of the Goon's control. So take this as a very good example. You've got the Goon and then you've got Dark. Put those two in the same room and they will continue to try and rule or heal. There is no balance. But I have a feeling the Goon was created for a reason. It was to balance it out. Because yes, you can ghoul healers in Slugterra, but they'll be easy to heal because of Dark. But the Goon is an entirely different story. If the Goon is to be healed, he is to be healed by more than just one healer. He probably has to be healed by a whole cavern of healer slugs. I just don't understand how the Goon can be healed. How the Goon cannot be healed. Because I remember with the cryptoglyph, if you've seen Slugterra, the Eastern Caverns, and there is only so many times the Goon could be manipulated. The Goon can manipulate so many hosts. Now that Eli's father was broken free of the Goon's control, he too would have a connection in the Goon's mind. The Goon and his mind would be connected as one. Even if they're not next to each other, or even if they're nowhere near and the Wilshane is no longer under the Goon's control. But that's the topic I'm going to cover for today, the Goon. So please, as always, leave your thoughts and suggestions for topics for future episodes in the comments down below. If you like my channel, please subscribe and leave a like. It would actually really help me because it keeps me going to bring this channel forth and bring more topics. So leave a comment, and if you leave a comment, maybe leave a suggestion too for a future episode, and I may get so many comments that I'll only do so many topics so many times. I'll do certain topics certain days, and if you're lucky enough, the topic that I'm going to maybe do next would be maybe yours, if you leave a comment and a suggestion. So, as always, I'm your host, Anthony. Peace out.